Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Why did that just do that? What just happened there? There we go. That was a bit weird. Never mind, we've got gremlins in the house tonight. Gremlins. I've just been watching the Midtjylland game and they just drew. I'll just do that as a capital. Yeah, they just drew in a game in the league, which does take them. Where is it? Does leave them second in their league with that draw. They needed to win tonight. And why is it important? Because obviously they play Celtic. They play Celtic to this week. And I've got to say, having watched the game, they are a good team and they're attacking big numbers. And they're not as fast as I thought they would have been. But what they do, Midtjylland, is they use the fullbacks. They use the fullbacks really well. The fullbacks stick right to they use the full width of the pitch. And I've got to say, the midfielders help them out in big numbers when they do defend also. And they did lose an early goal in the first half and then they got one back. And then they got a goal disallowed 6 minutes into extra time. No, it's 4 or 5 minutes into extra time. They got a goal disallowed. Can Celtic beat them? Celtic will have their work cut out. It's going to be an exciting game, to say the least. And other Celtic news this evening, I'm going to talk about a UEFA rule. Now, we all know that a certain Celtic player has been ruled out until next year, which does allow Celtic the ability to bring in, and why it's deleted everything. Oh, there it's there. There is a rule that Celtic could use to bring in Callum Osmond, because you've got to remember that Callum Osmond isn't in the Europa League squad. But the new rule will be implemented as follows: the long-term injury or illness of a player needs to be announced to UEFA via players at UEFA, include all the necessary medical evidence as stipulated by the regulations and UEFA's official language, ideally in English. UEFA will confirm the replacement and or the request for further medical examinations. Now, what that does mean is it means that we can get Callum Osmond into the squad, and I think that Martin O'Neill would like to get him into the squad when you see it. So that's an interesting development tonight anyway. There is another one. What's going on with the screens tonight? Oh, it's madness tonight. There's gremlins in the system. The Huns are in. Hopefully not. So that's the Celtic. That's the rule that Celtic could apply. Celtic could make use of the new route for a new UEFA regulation allowing a long-term player to be dropped from the squad. Cameron Carter-Vickers is a long-term injury. He can then be dropped out the squad with his Achilles injury, and we could bring in Callum Osmond or Shindimada. Wait and see. I think it'll be Callum Osmond if anything. I think the manager will go with Callum Osmond. Tell me your thoughts in the comments section, and we'll get is that our new manager? Maybe it is. It's not all but lost, but he may still get in. Do you think so? Do you think that Callum Osmond may get into the squad? I think he might. It depends if if Celtic decide to go down that route. They've never came out and said it as yet. You'd think if they were going to make an announcement to UEFA that there was going to be a player change in the squad, they would have had to have made it today. You don't know. Maybe Celtic are just thinking that we're going to have to go with the players that we've got. Will we get the result? I think they'll get the result on Thursday. Martin, having watched Midtjylland get a draw tonight in a stadium that was soaking wet, the rain was chucking it down, to the team that are second. Well, they are now second in the league because they had to win tonight to go top. And I'll tell you one thing, for them being second in the league, they've scored way more goals. They've got a way better goal difference. And when you see it, you're thinking, how's that split screen? That one. When you see that game, and the good thing is they've drawn 2 games out the last 5. They've drawn 2 games out the last 5 domestically. I know that they've been on a good run European-wise. Tonight's game showed me that they were very well organised defensive. They like to go forward in numbers. I think that they were a little bit unlucky with the goal that was ruled offside. The attack, I'm not sure that Celtic are going to do it, to be honest. Having watched them tonight, if we get a draw would be a fantastic. I mean, I know that I said that Martin O'Neill could maybe get a win, but the fact that they are sitting top of the UEFA table, they've got 3 straight wins in Europe. That was a massive game that they had tonight. Will that have taken anything at all out the players? And will they be up for it on Thursday night? I mean, I know that we played yesterday. We've had 1 day rest more than them. So you've got to take all that into it. But you would expect them to be ready to go on Thursday night. Professional football players. It's a tidy little stadium they've got. Fantastic little stadium. The noise that comes from their ultras side behind the goals. Noisy. Has to be said. Can we get the result on Thursday? I'm not too sure, I'm going to be honest. I was kind of thinking, before I watched that game tonight, I was thinking, yeah, I think we could sneak it. But they are a good side. There's no disputing it. I mean, they've scored goals for this season. They've scored 35 goals in the league. The team that are top of the table have only scored 27 goals. That's how close it was tonight. When you look at the goals against, they've lost 15 goals all season. The team that are at the top of the table have only lost 13. So, I mean, they are scoring, they are letting in roughly about 1 goal a game when you see that. They've played 14 games. So, can Celtic get a goal over there? Yes. We'll need to be really good. They're no mugs. They're not as fast as what I thought they may be, but it's going to be a hard one. Let me just jump into the comments. I think so. Bring in Donny. I think he might be the wild card to get us a goal. I think that, I don't know. They're quite physical. They are quite a physical team, and they like to go down. They like to go down really easy. If you think the Rangers players drop down easy, wait till you see this lot. The slightest thing, and they try to go down. Is it a game for someone like him to come in? He's got the pace that could do it against them. When they do fly forward in numbers, they leave massive gaps at the back. They leave their 2 central defenders wide open, and I think Celtic could do something against that. Do you think that it would be a front three of Forrest, Maida and Tenecte against Midtjylland? I wish they were Midtjylland, but the reality is they're not, and they've got some cracking players. That guy that plays with them that's got the dreadlocks, Jesus, he's a bit of an animal. Michelle, what do you think of it? You were watching that game. What did you think of the game tonight? Tracksuit ordered. Is it true the Minions support Midtjylland? No idea. Long shot on Thursday, but why not? I think that you have to shoot. If you get any sight on goal at all on Thursday, is shoot, because they close down really quick. They do a high press better than us. They do a real high press better than us. When you're on attack and their fullback is getting it, they double up. The midfield player, their holding midfield player, helps out their fullbacks quite a lot. They're a well organised team. Well organised team. But they're not unbeatable. You know, they're not unbeatable. We've seen that tonight in the draw. Although the second half, they were going for it. They were going for it big time. I'm not going to lie, after watching that, it reminded me of Rangers diving wins like them. Yeah, they do, don't they? But we all know that Celtic haven't been too blessed in Europe when it comes to referees over the years. And with it being an away game, sometimes the referee tends to go for the home team, which doesn't really happen at Celtic Park, unfortunately. But they're not as good. They're not as fast as I thought that they were. Looked pacey and energetic. When you hit them on the break, though, do you know what? I think they only looked pacey and energetic because they used the wings the right way. They used the width of the pitch. You know, their fullbacks stick to the line, you know, and it makes them look faster than what they are. I think that the pace that we've got and the pace that we can play through them at would give us a big bonus. But yeah, I mean, they are energetic, but it's because they use the width of the pitch really well. They don't pass, when they get it to the defender, they're not passing it to the other defender who's sitting narrow. The defenders are sitting quite wide. Both fullbacks are bang on the touchline. They will not come away for the touchline, and they batter up the side of the pitch. A bit like what Martin O'Neill's team used to do in 2003, to be fair. So Martin O'Neill's probably been watching that game tonight and going, how can we beat them? He was at the game at Nottingham Forest when they beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. What you need to be careful of with this team is when we do go forward, we need to get back quick in numbers, because that's where they will see them winning, especially at home. Martin knows how to knows Europe. Midtjylland striker is the main man. Will do well to get anything at the game. They're way better defensive than Rangers and Hearts put together. That's to be said. And it was a cracking little stadium. It reminded me of Malmo's stadium. It's about the same as that. Stephen Johnson, thank you for the super chat. Getting everyone to same team on Sunday, on Thursday. Lauren, it can't be, because unless, like we said at the beginning of the video, unless Celtic get in touch with UEFA and tell them that they're going to put Callum Osmond into the squad for the Europa League, they can make one change within the squad due to illness or long-term injury. Now, CCV has got a long-term injury, which means we could bring one more player into the squad. Celtic will know that. Hopefully that they would have got in touch with UEFA today, sent them an email on, where is it? Well, that was them trying to get the goal. Did I get a screenshot of them getting the goal? This one. Long-term injury or illness to a player needs to be announced to UEFA via players at uefa.ch. All necessary medical evidence stipulated by the regulations in one of UEFA's official languages, ideally English. UEFA will confirm the replacement. The rule may prevent the player from being eligible for some knockout stage matches, therefore in case of transfers or such, or injured or ill player. I don't think Celtic will be too worried about Callum Osman being there for the later stages of the Europa, because if they were to get there, hopefully we would have some better players in. But anyway, that is an interesting one to see if Celtic will make any noises about that. I wonder if they'll be asked about that before or on the press conference that will be on Wednesday before the team leaves, because that'll be Wednesday morning, won't it? And then the team will fly out on the Wednesday afternoon, unless they're just going to do a normal, what Celtic used to do back in the day, is fly out the morning of the match. Horrendous for the players. But nah, the players get out there the day before now, don't they? And then they get time on the pitch. Train on the pitch the day before. And then we'll see. Stoke City have been mentioning. There's been an article today where Stoke City to be tested again by Celtic in January. If you remember in the summer, talking about minions earlier on, Celtic were reportedly exploring a deal for Stoke City winger Miljan Manhoef. And in the summer, the Dutch winger has impressed this season, and it's been said that it looks like Celtic may come back in for the Dutch Youth International in the January window. Let's just hope that that's because they know that Dyson Maeda will be leaving in January. I still think that when it comes to Dyson will be away at the next window. He was upset that he didn't get away previously, and maybe this is Celtic just making sure that they've got the player lined up. I think a draw. Lauren says the same team. It's not going to be the same team. Leave Hatate in Glasgow. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, Hatate did nothing for himself. To say that he made things better for the game at the weekend, did he? They're not unbeatable. We saw that draw. Last time we played away in 2021, we lost 2-1. Yeah. We never do well in that neck of the woods. I can remember going to Sweden with Celtic under Ronnie Dyler. And we never done well then either. But anyway, we can beat anybody if we keep the team together and not too many changes. If Johnny Kenny plays like he did, they're a bit suspect to high balls. I think that we could get the win. That's what I think. Fuck's still on it. I'm high. I think we'll win. Michelle says, just like reminded her of Rangers, play like them, drop them, complain about everything. But yeah, they didn't give up for the full 90 minutes and they play 3-4-1-2. It is a strange formation to play. It is very defensive minded when you see it. But it was an interesting game to watch. Rewatching the Seville game. Great atmosphere for the troops without the Green Brigade. Definitely jump back 20 years or so. Yeah. 6-2 song at the end. Roll with it. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? So anyway, that's your Celtic news this evening. I'm not staying on too long because I'm absolutely... my throat is killing me this evening. People talking about Rodgers. Who cares a fuck about Rodgers? Why is that even coming up my timeline? Yeah, there's not much. There is a Jurgen Klopp stuff going around, but that's just by the record. Wonder who's done the story. No way are Celtic going to go for Klopp. Charlie Mulgrew says we should go for Klopp. That's not going to happen, is it? Not at all. Not at all. Never going to happen. Never going to happen at all. They're a decent team, but remember, Hibs took them extra time in the qualifiers. I think they're a bit better than they were in the qualifiers. I mean, if Hibs took that team that I watched tonight, if Hibs took them to nearly extra time in the qualifiers, Hibs should be up there with Hearts this season. That's for sure. Martin Selby did a good side, yeah. They were that. They are that. The obvious player to be called up should be Johnny Kenny. Kenny's in the squad. It's Callum Osmond that's not in the squad. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure Johnny Kenny's in the squad. It's Callum Osmond and Shin Yamada that weren't in the squad. Find out just now. There we go. We'll get the Celtic Europa squad on the screen right now. Who? It's got the youth team in it as well. Johnny Kenny's in it. Johnny Kenny's in the squad. Jude Bonner and Tom Pickford were in the squad, but they were taken out. But it does have, it's got the B team and the first team. Take it, Charlie Mulgrew's son's playing for the Celtic B team. Can't be any coincidence. Joshua Mulgrew. Young Donovan. Yeah, it has. See, he's in the B team, so can they not just bring the player in from the B team because he's already in the squad? That's an interesting one. Forwards: Benji, Michelangelo, Kelechi, Sebastian Tanetti, Johnny Kenny, Dyson Maeda. Wait a minute. He's not in the squad. Johnny Kenny's in the squad, and that's it. Interesting. So Celtic need to bring him into the squad. Meltdown Monday has been delicious with the South Koreans. I've not watched any of their stuff today, to be honest. Had a night off just with my sore throat and stuff. Obvious player should be called out as Kenny. He's already in the squad. So for me, it has to be the other striker that we have that's not in the squad because he's not in the B team. Wouldn't let Hatata near the Celtic jersey again. Let's hope that he's sold. Let's hope that he's sold. Will collect. I mean, there's every chance that because they're quite a physical side, I think that Brendan would have played Kelechi, and I think that Martin O'Neill might play Kelechi in the actual, purely for the physicality, and then change it. Replace CCV with Osmond. Yeah, that's the one that I think needs to happen. Osmond is not in the squad at all. I'll get it up on the screen for you. The Celtic squad. So you can see the squad for the UEFA. So if we go down, you see all the keepers because it's obviously got the three keepers. I mean, it's got every Celtic have got every goalkeeper named. I mean, there's goalkeepers there that I've never even heard of, but this is the Europa squad on the Europa site, UEFA.com, sorry. And you see the goalkeepers, and then when you go down, you got all your defenders, midfielders, fucking shitload of forwards. Benjanigran, Miko, Ange, Balakwisha, and Iniacho, Tanecti, Johnny Kenny, Dice Maeda, Jude Bonner, and Tom Pickford have been dropped out the squad because they were put out on loan. And then you've got a couple of the younger guys, and there's that fucking snake at the bottom. So yeah, I think that rather than bring up some of the younger guys, he has to bring in Osmond. Surely has to bring in Osmond. You know, problems with a high, strong defence, pace and attack. Yeah, they do push a lot of people up into the box. That's my only worry, and especially if we're going to play Ralston. I mean, will Ralston be fit enough? I mean, hopefully there's no bruising on that thigh, and hopefully he's got to the end of the game, and it's just, it is just soft tissue damage on the outside, whether it's the inside of his thigh that happened, isn't it? So let's just hope that he makes the game, because I don't think a lot of people would be over the moon if we were to go with some of the younger players that had been put under pressure, like Colby Donovan, Marcelo. Wonder if he'll start over. But anyway, Rangers got taken over by Sevco Scotland in 2012 and got liquidated. Yes, they did that. We all know that on this channel. But thanks for informing us. I thought Kenny wasn't picked for the... he wasn't picked. No, Kenny was picked. He's in the squad. Look. Forwards. Johnny Kenny. 26. He's in the squad. Got to remember, that's the squad of the first team and the B team. So Johnny Kenny is in the squad. Watching the Celtic end, yep. Anyone seen Chris Boyd tonight? Under the blanket. Never even seen anything that he did on telly yesterday, which is a bit unusual. We always have the B team forwards to bring in. You're not bringing in a B team forward. I mean, the rule's there to bring in another player. If we can bring in Osmond with this rule, I mean, Celtic surely have to be looking at it. I mean, Martin O'Neill will be sitting there, and it won't be today because they would have had a day off today. Or maybe Martin O'Neill being in the office, or maybe he's like, fuck, I need a day in bed after the game. And when they go into training tomorrow morning, they'll obviously turn their mind to, right, who's all fit, how's everyone feeling, what's the squad. Martin O'Neill say, what's the squad? And young Sean Maloney is going to turn around to him and say, we've got a little issue. Callum Osmond isn't in the squad. And if you're Martin O'Neill, you're going to turn around at that point and go, what the absolute fuck? Why is he not in the team? It makes the decisions that have been made to this season even more ludicrous. But anyway, Martin O'Neill. We are back at being unpredictable and frightening. That's all good, but when you come up against teams in Europe, I mean, it's back to reality check time. As good as we were yesterday, there was big chunks of that game where we looked nervous. This team are way better organised than Rangers. They play the width of the pitch better. They attack in big numbers. When they're going forward, there's 5 or 6 of them going forward. They play a low block as well, which is strange. They've got a bit of everything, which is, I mean, it's all right having the unpredictability from us, but it's going to be a hit on the break to score against them. It's going to be a shot from outside the box. It's not going to be an easy game, to say the least. We will do the Walter Midtjylland. If we can get Kenny in the squad, I'd have more faith at the moment. Johnny Kenny's in the squad. We will win 3-2. We have the strength to turn defence into attack, but we've not got Jackie McNamara there anymore. Oh, his name is McNamara. He is the Celtic boys are back. His forte is to turn the defence into attack. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. They get me started. My throat for yesterday. It's just gone. The league is priority, mate. Yeah, but I don't care what anyone says. The league is a priority, but Martin O'Neill will know that going in and playing in Europa, he's got fond memories of Europa and he's got bad memories of Europa. Martin O'Neill, if the Celtic board do take the easy road out and give Martin O'Neill the job to the end of the season to buy them time, do you know, Martin O'Neill will look at this squad and wonder why on earth was a certain young player not added to the squad when he was brought into the club. I mean, Shin Yamada's not in the squad when you look at the forwards. Shin Yamada's not in the squad. Callum Osman's not in the squad. The rest of them are all the youth players from the B team, because obviously the B team plays in the Europa as well. So there has to be a decision made, and hopefully the decision will be made tomorrow morning so we can get things cracked on. And because it affects the training as well, because if Callum Osmond isn't going to be travelling with the squad, it then changes what Martin O'Neill does with training. It changes what, you know, all the backroom staff do with the players in training, because then you've got Shin Yamada, and I don't even think Inamura's in the squad, is he? You're going to have a certain selection of players that are going to be right. There's no use you actually playing as if you're going to be playing in the team. You know, although they'll still train with the squad, they'll basically be put in a corner and go, well, we need to focus on the players that get on the flight with us, and that's the big problem that we've got. We need to stop this Hatate bashing. He did good against them. He should have scored. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm not hanging around much longer tonight because my throat is killing me. Mulgrew's desperate to stay relevant. He is, isn't he? You're going to do a Monday Meltdown hackathon. Is any of them online? Nah, not tonight. I can't. My throat's killing me. I'll see if there's any of them online, and I might do a hackathon and then put it up like I did last night's video. We'll wait and see. Midtjylland are top of the Europa. Yeah, they are top of the Europa, but they also dropped points tonight in a game that they were maybe thinking that they were going to win. Because if they'd won the game tonight, they would have went top of the league. And when you see their league position, they've drawn 2 games out of the last 5. I mean, they are scoring goals for fun this season, but they've also let in around about a goal a game in the league. So I think that Celtic can score. Can we win? I'm not too sure. We'll wait and see what the team is on Thursday evening. When Midtjylland played Forest, they went with a 3-4-3 against Sturm Graz. Maccabi Tel Aviv, they went 3-4-1-2. They were at home for them, so probably the same formation. Yeah, that's the way they played tonight, 3-4-1-2. Like I say, very, very defensive at times. The 3 at the back go to a 2 at the back. Looks very like Celtic, but then they to push everyone forward. When they go forward in big numbers, and that's how they generally get their wins. But they didn't tonight. Kenny to start, Kelechi on the bench if fit enough. That could be the way that we go. Anyway, that has been done and dusted for this evening. Apologise, because my throat is absolutely killing me. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are all around the world. And a big shout out to Stephen Johnston for his £10 super chat, and a big shout out to Jasper. Did you see the Onion Bears attacking the old guy? No, I didn't. It was just some random dude, wasn't it? It wasn't. I don't even think he was a Celtic fan. I just think he was some random dude walking down the street. But that's the aim all over, isn't it? And when they think it's all over, it is now, because Celtic put them out the cup. On that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.